I finally made it to the computer to do this. It has been, let's say, a busy day. That's probably a major understatement, but an enjoyable day. A lot achieved, a lot done. The word of the day, or the phrase, sorry, for February 11 is enjoy every precious moment. Enjoy every precious moment. Or if you like, live in the moment. It's saying the same thing. Live in the moment and enjoy the moment. How about that? Today, my friend Reverend Raymont has written, possibility becomes probability. And I think I actually put it the wrong way around in the heading, but anyway, possibility becomes probability. So my apologies for switching it the wrong way around. I do have some dyslexia and sometimes things flip on me. First quote is from B.F. Skinner, who says, the consequences of an act affect the probability of its occurring again. So you do something happens, and then whatever the consequences are of that happening affect the fact that it will or will not happen again, or might not happen again. Right? And Ernest Thomas says, infinite and immutable as the law is everything, and it's unchangeable. Okay? He says, ever present and available as it must be, it's always there for us. The potential possibility of all human probability. He says, it must flow through us in order to manifest for us. So no matter how powerful and how available the law is, it can only do its work through us. It needs a medium. And us, you could say, it needs a medium. More than likely, it needs a living medium, ideally that can recognize that it's able to do that. So in other words, it needs a living medium. I won't just say us as humans, us as living beings, okay? I think it's human hubris to think humans are just it. We're one of probably trillions of species.
The oven is beeping.
My wife just said the oven is beeping, but that's okay. Is it possible for this magazine to reach 10 million subscribers? With a large staff, all paid their worth. Yes, it's possible. But is it probable if we continue operating as a secret? No, not likely, right? He says, what would it take to have a circulation like Better Homes and Gardens or Rolling Stone? What would make such a goal achievable? What actions would create the conditions that increase the probability? He says, this applies to many other aspects of our lives as well. How do we make health and well-being more probable for ourselves and our loved ones? He says, when I talk about health and well-being, I don't just mean physical health. He says, I include other kinds, emotional, spiritual, financial, social, and mental well-being. Then he says, how can we shift things so that all of these become not just possibilities, but probabilities, that the likelihood is really high that they're going to happen? And then he goes back and says, I remember looking at the back of a lottery ticket that my father sent me to buy at the grocery store. On the back were the statistics regarding the probability of winning. The same information can be found on tickets today. Then he says, last August 2025, the Powerball jackpot rose to $1 billion, and the odds of winning the grand prize were 1 in 292,201,338. Almost like 2/3 of the population of the US. He says, how possible is it that I could win without buying a ticket? Well, it's possible. Somebody could give you a ticket. How probable is it? Not very likely at all, right? Then he goes back and says, how possible is it to grow our magazine's reach if I don't commit in some way to that goal? Well, how probable? Well, Reverend Raymont, I'm doing my bit. I'm putting it out on social media, on different kinds of social media. I admit that I'm just doing the daily reading. So maybe what I should do in future is keep reminding people, hey, this is a reading from the Science of Mind magazine, a wonderful magazine, and the part that I read every day is called the Daily Guides. But there's much more to the magazine than that. That's just like 20% of the magazine, if that. So, right, that's what I should do to do my bit. As I said, it's been a really long day. It's a long affirmation. My actions have consequences. And guess what? Those consequences sow seeds into the activity of the law, increasing the probabilities of achieving what I desire and deserve. If I do my spiritual work, if I think about what I want, if I wrap my feelings around what I want, and I release that in gratitude into the law, there's a very high possibility, there's not just a possibility, there's a very high probability that what I'm releasing into the law will come to pass. So please look out tomorrow for my colleague Reverend Lisa Ryan, 9:15-ish. And look out for me tomorrow on whatever kind of social media you see me on. Today, Danielle Johnson should have done her midday reading, so look out for that. And I will be back tomorrow, hopefully at 5 o'clock. But life gets in the way, folks. So until next time, my prayer for all of you is a wonderful, restful night's sleep, whenever that turns out to be.